This is Mapinduzi and you're watching YurpTV.
What would you want us to do if it happened to you? What would you do if it happened to you? What would you want us to do, huh? If it happened to you, what would you do if it happened to you? Cause you could be George Floyd, I could be Mike Brown, he could be Cedric Bridger, she could be Sandra Bland. What would you want us to do if it happened to you? What would you do if it happened to you, huh?
Bro. So they got it boarded up downtown. Look at that. Niggas came out here going crazy. You know what I mean? That's wild. Let's see what that say across the street. What does that say? Let's see what we got. What does it say? What does it say? 1960 civil rights, 2000s human rights. I have the right to breathe. That's dope. That's dope. You want to get in front of the statue?
Yeah, I think we should. We try that. These dead ass niggas.
YurpTV 252, man. Yeah.
With Uzi.
What we got going on though? This Uzi?
Yeah, this Uzi.
Okay.
It's Mapinduzi.
Word.
Swahili for revolution.
Word. Explain that, man. How that come about?
It came about with us three just really coming together and really seeing the importance, or an important need for people to really have their own organization that fully backs the voices and the needs of all oppressed, colonized people.
Word.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the event, man, that took place down here, man. The Greenville Riots, they want to call it. You know what I'm saying? I call it the protest.
You want to start off tonight?
What you want?
Yeah.
Okay.
So really, it started off with us just wanting to build community organization and show resistance against the oppressive forces of Greenville Police Department and other police institutions.
Word.
And that's really how it started off. It was then instigated and agitated by Greenville Police Department. And you know, it ended up being a clash against the police department with the community. And I was about to say something else.
Sure. Yeah, they ended up coming out here, man. I don't think really the group that was messing with the businesses had anything to do with the protest people. I think that was another separate group later on, though.
Well, I think the question of these businesses downtown, when you look at downtown, these businesses are not connected whatsoever to people in West Greenville, and Moywood, KP, Kernan Park, any place where we are the majority and the poor working class majority, we are underrepresented. And that has always been that way, and these businesses do not represent black people whatsoever in Greenville, North Carolina. So when we question a couple of windows or a couple of flagpoles over the lives that people have been living in Greenville for years and years and years, and then people have been voicing, their concerns and how they need a opportunity to alleviate these pressures in that community, and it goes unheard for years. What you met, what Greenville saw, was really those voices really boiling over and saying that we're not gonna take it no more, and these things around here mean nothing to us because they do nothing for us. So black people should all have no loyalty to any windows down here or any property in West Greenville. I mean, in this uptown district, when this district has been historically known to not only be a part of gentrification that happens in our community, but also a very unwanting to our people when it comes to the downtown area. This area has always been combative to black people in this area. There's really no entertainment for us down here. When we do come, we are always met with brutality and aggression. So again, we have to realize that we're talking about the people that have been oppressed constantly in Greenville and who had the opportunity to say that we're no longer going to take it anymore without being heard.
Respect.
And if we look at the history of Town Common, for instance, we see that it was once called a neighborhood in downtown that was predominantly, if not totally, black. At a church there in Sycamore Baptist Church that was destroyed. And in the process of gentrifying that neighborhood, they destroyed, or trying to build Town Common, they destroyed the whole neighborhood, displaced everyone, and didn't really care about where they put them at. So when we look at this neighborhood here, downtown, uptown Greenville, however we want to call it, as the Don, illustrated, we don't really have a connection. We do have a connection here. We do. But the thing about it is they've done their best to erase it.
Right,
so when we come down to, destroying windows and whatnot, really, to be honest with you, and maybe this is controversial, but this is really the best case scenario.
Let
Really,
me,
to be honest
let
with
me,
you.
let me ask you, Demetrius, man, being that you're a politician, man, and into, well, I know you don't want to be called a politician, but you was running for mayor, bro. You was running for mayor. You know what I'm saying? So that would be a little bit distasteful to politics and things like that. So how would you explain that?
But the thing about it is, I kind of trying to think about this from a perspective of if I was mayor. And the thing about it is, I would still be on the same exact type of thing.
Would you have marched with the people if you was a mayor?
Absolutely,
Word.
absolutely. I probably would have to dip off a little earlier,
Yeah.
but that's just being real. But
I got you.
and the thing about it is, it's like I would have marched with the people, and I would have understood, you know, what happened. Because at the end of the day, when you look at the Greenville Police Department history, let alone with myself, you know, I got bad blood with them. But you know, they killed Sean Rambert, Brandon Journey. Look at it from a regional perspective, Cedric Pritchard. All these people have been murdered by the local police departments here, and there's been no to little retribution here. So, you know, I think that, you know, when we look at what happened transpired over these last few days, I think right now this is, again, the best case scenario for Greenville. And I think that, you know, when it comes down to actually hearing our demands, I think now, you know, when it comes down to having a civilian police review board, community control of the police, and demilitarization of the police, which was witnessed the day that we were down here.
Yeah,
That's what nobody really realized. People didn't want to talk about that, but we saw 24 forces down here that day, met us with the utmost aggression. And in some instances where, you know, I was passing out water in some instances, and they were firing tear gas at people, including children.
Word.
To the point where the Don had to pick someone up, had to pick up a child, and had to run off with them.
Oh, word.
Yeah, so you know, this is the utmost aggression that we face in our communities on a regular basis. But on that day in particular, we saw it in complete full force.
Right. When I'm glad that Demetrius really touched on that. When you hear the mayor and other city officials applaud the job of local law enforcement, it really tells you about the city that you live in and the people that sit in somewhat positions of power. Because when they say, the mayor and the chief included, they say that they did an outstanding job or they acted, professionally, that this professionalism was an attack on black people, black women, black children, black elderly, and things like that. So that is the professionalism that they talk about constantly that day when law enforcement really attacked and waged an open war, like Demetrius said, an open war on black people that day in the downtown district. And these are things that have been constantly going on. This is I think we want to make it known that this war is more than just a militarized effort by local law enforcement, but this war goes on constantly in our communities when it comes to the question of housing, when it comes to the question of wages and things of that nature. So black people have always been in this position of war in this country, and I think that day was a tipping point to really let people know that the only way they can alleviate these problems is collectively building together on a unified front to really attack and really combat these issues that go on.
Explain the Rachel Kinney situation, man. Shout out to her, man, by the way.
Yeah,
man.
shout out to Rachel. Shout out to Rachel.
Solidarity.
No, I think that's important. I'm glad that you brought that up, bro. I think what happened to Rachel should also be a question that is constantly brought up, because we want to ask ourselves, what kind of society do we live in when a person is highly trained to take care of people, and in the day that they choose to take care of people that actually need help, we're talking about people who are having fragments thrown at them that are exploding around them, having sparks ending up burning their legs, people singeing their fingers from trying to get these things out of the way of our children, and people that have asthma and things like this. So this lady was doing her job in the utmost proficiency, I think we can say. And then now, because she was protecting black people from a force that have always been historically brutal to us, now she has been I guess fired from her job. But we have to ask ourselves, is that not what she was trained for originally?
I don't think she really threw it at the police, though. I think she was trying to get it out of the way.
She threw it out the way. No, we was there. We was actually there, and we saw Rachel throw it away from the people that was in the crowd. So what she did was a very courageous thing.
It was really nothing that forced their hand to do that. They just decided to do that, right?
Man, no, because see, these acts are historical acts of solidarity. When you look at history, you see white people that have always stood beside black people in their liberation struggles. You see the Quakers, you see people like John Brown, you see the abolition movement and things like this. And this is the spirit that Rachel was moving in that day. Yeah. So you can't go back on history and say that these people right here did a courageous thing and then look at Rachel and act like she's a criminal. Because what she did was not criminalistic at all. What it was very courageous. and brave, and she stood up for and saved black people that day.
Explain, some rumors going around, man, that the white people was helping the police that day. I don't think they know what was going on, man, because we was outside.
Yeah,
and from my angle, it looked like the white people were helping the black people.
Again, yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I don't know what. Explain that rumor though, man.
Nah, again, the chief got up there and tried to say that
Try to spin it in a way, really, to be
Right.
honest with you. Try to spin it in a way in where the protesters were protecting the police, as opposed to the protesters were actually protecting us.
Yeah, I got it on camera.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I got I have it photographed also.
Word.
So that's something that they try to reframe.
Yeah, they locked arms in front of the black
Right.
people and was like, in order for them to get through to the black people, they got to go through us. And
Exactly.
that was historical in itself.
Exactly.
You feel me?
That's probably one of the first moments that's ever happened.
Nah, I never
never.
seen no shit like that. I'll be
Right,
honest.
so yeah, no, it was not to protect law enforcement. It was another act of solidarity where white people understood that.
Explain that term solidarity for people who don't know,
You
bro.
know, solidarity is a term that says that it's like you got your back, I got mine type of thing, but not in a way that I have to do you a favor, but knowing the understanding that it is my responsibility as a white person that has privilege in this society to use that privilege and the advantage for black and brown and other colonized people. And that's what happened that day when white people really came out there and really stood in total solidarity and full solidarity with black oppressed people here in Greenville, North Carolina. So
Yeah.
I think it's something very important to note that they weren't out there trying to protect the police. That wasn't the case.
I never saw
and,
that.
Because, not saying nothing, no, but if that was the case, no police cars would have got smashed. You see
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
So they was out there protecting black people. They
Right.
know who the pigs are.
Yeah.
So that's what happens. But I think another important thing I would like Comrade Anaya to touch on is how society always has this thing where they protect women, and women is always the aspect of protection, especially with white women. But the police had no problem whatsoever with waging war on black women that day, and I think that's something that should be touched on.
Absolutely. And just like Comrade Adon was saying, in the moment we had children, black and brown children and women in the crowd, and they had no issue, no problem whatsoever attacking us in the crowd. And I just want to speak as well to black and brown women who may be watching this, that your place is in the revolution. Your place is within leadership, within your community. Your place is in the resistance of these oppressive forces that we are battling. Black women, black and brown women, we are faced with 3 waves of oppression. And, it's not just racism, it's not just classism, but it's sexism as well. So when we talk about intersectionality, we're not just talking about, and we're not just, talking about black and brown women. When we talk about intersectionality, we're talking about black and brown LGBTQ lives, black trans women, black trans men. That is the basis of our principles in Mapinduzi, and just that collective organization, because we know that without organization there is no liberation. So I just want to really to speak out to black and brown oppressed women. Your place is in the revolution. If you look at throughout every civilization in history, black and brown women have always been in leadership positions. They've always been the matriarchs of their societies, and that's really what it is. But like you were saying, they had no problem waging war against black and brown women, and that's something I think that we really need to think about and pay attention to. It was an instance, even with the Rachel and Kenny situation, where they felt like, or claimed that they were attacked and scorched by the canister.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
It's just completely irrational. Again, it's the way to hide the racism and bigotry, fascism, and patriarchal elements within Greenville, North Carolina, and that's really what it is.
Let me ask you something, man. Is Mapinduzi, is that are y'all recruiting?
Oh yeah, I mean we always need people, but it's we recruit only colonized people, black, brown, indigenous people that have been directly affected by U.S. Colonialism, imperialism, and capitalism.
So what about white people? How can they join the movement?
They join the movement by standing in solidarity. Again, solidarity matters. So I mean, if they would like to join the movement, and that means they use that privilege, they step out of their comfortability zones and go into the white neighborhoods and organize the white working class around what needs to be done to really create blows to this system. that can potentially create some kind of transformative changes in our society.
I got you. So overall, do y'all guys think this protest really helped the city of Greenville as far as the people?
I mean, my personal belief, yeah, I believe it has helped us out tremendously, because right now, I think we always talk about unity. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take my mask down. I think that we always talk about unity, but we never really actually try to strive for it. But I think with Mapinduzi here and the leadership that we represent, so far at least, you know, I think that people want to attach to it, and you know, we can make some real instrumental changes around here. I think that when it comes down to, you know, we have our 4 demands, as I stated a little earlier. You know, community control of police, demilitarization, et cetera, et cetera. I think that these right here are things that the community are willing to unite around at this moment, especially because we already seen what has happened across the country, let alone in our own city, where we always thought that we were excluded or exempt from this happening.
Yeah.
You know, as both of them have already said it, you know, fascism is here.
Yeah.
People, they always don't want to believe it. They just want to believe that this is the most diverse, inclusive community perhaps in the world. I don't know. But when we look at the reality of the situation, we understand that, you know, again, fascism is here and that we need to really challenge it. And I think our community is willing to unite around that, especially in this moment today.
Word. What can we do to keep the fire burning, man? Because yes, this is a moment in history, but it's also a moment. You see what I'm saying? So what can we do to keep the fire burning and keep people outside? What can we do?
I think the most important thing to do right now is just really understand that this is a protracted struggle. So, you know, that means that it's long lasting and it doesn't end. Because, I mean, you know, to be realistic, there probably will be a time where things start to seem as though they fizzle out, where you won't see as many people in the streets no more. You know, the Facebook likes might not generate to 100 no more because of the pictures that you take, and the honks of the horns might decrease a little bit.
Yeah.
So that kind of puts people in a position where they don't feel as though, you know, it's necessary to do, you know, these things anymore. But I think it's important to really educate people on the need for real understanding of what goes on in our community. So we have programs set up where we would like to start a cop watch in every neighborhood, where we give the community the power to really determine who these people are that come in their neighborhoods, and when they do come in their neighborhoods, have the power and the ability to protect themselves and the community from all type of terrorism that these fascist pigs bring in Greenville, North Carolina. So that's one thing, that is something that we can keep going, that continues the struggle going, you know, for some type of liberation in our community. So we have programs that we're trying to develop that keeps people in the process of continually waging in our struggle, and to develop, to gain, like Demetrius said, the demands that we had, which is a civilian police review board, which is a independent DA for brutality cases, which is into the 1033 program, which gives Greenville Police Department the access to all type of military equipment that we seen that day, on that Sunday, that they were throwing at children when they was riding around in bulletproof tanks, when not a person in the crowd had a bomb on them. You see what I'm saying? But these are the forces that come to our people directly just like that. So, you know, we have to make sure that we develop strategies and plans in place to combat those things when these elements come in our neighborhood. And I think that we are developing those things. So, you know, those are ways that we can continue to keep these things going, you know what I mean, when you ask that question. So, yeah, you know, it's really just joining an organization, really, you know, intertwining yourself in struggle and really waging it.
Hey, how does it feel, man, to be on the forefront of this battle, man? People look at you like you're a leader, bro. I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? They're looking at you, bro. Like, how's it feel, man? That pressure on you.
I don't feel like a leader. I don't feel like a leader. I look at it as this is the people's struggle that we continue to wage on a consistent basis. If I have to be the person that's loud at the moment, I don't mind. You know, if I have to be that person, if I have to be that person that steps out at that moment, I don't mind. But what this organization represents, Mapinduzi, is an organization that trains people how to be revolutionary. That way, if one person falls, another person can stand up and do the exact same thing as the other person that fell off. Respect. So what we want to do is we want to build leadership in the community that can all be able to do the things that Mapinduzi does to confront and combat all forms of imperialism, capitalism, and oppression in our communities. So it's not necessarily about leadership or who's in the lead. It's about what we can do collectively as a community to get these pigs off our back.
I got you. What would you say to the youth, man, that's watching this, man? Just, I know they probably don't have too much of a take on it, but just seeing how the city just turned up. What's some words you could say to the youth out here?
I'm gonna let Naya talk. She the youngest.
I'm gonna get it from all three of y'all. You good? We're gonna get it from all three.
Well, my words to the youth is the youth in Greenville, join Mapinduzi. We are a revolutionary organization. We do things differently. We understand. We look at ourselves as the voice of the streets. You see what I'm saying? We don't belong to any status quo. We don't necessarily do the respectability politics. You know, we don't disrespect people. But we understand that until justice can be received, there's some things that we must do in the streets, and there's some things that we must say that might not necessarily be comfortable for some people to hear, but it's just the truth of the matter. So for the youth that's out there that feels like, you know, there's nothing really going on, or the system really doesn't care about them, it's the truth. It doesn't. You see what I'm saying? And the only way to alleviate them feelings is to actively engage in struggle. You see what I'm saying? And that's what Mapinduzi does. So if they want to actively engage in struggle, then please join the movement.
Respect. Let me get some encouraging words for the youth, man.
Yeah, just to build off what the Don was saying just now, yeah, the youth absolutely have a place in Mapinduzi. I think that when we look at the school to prison pipeline and, you know, throughout the nation, but let's look at Pitt County schools, we have SROs, I believe that's what they're called, right? We have SROs, we have, you know, a lot, yeah, exactly, school resource officers, we have plenty of suspensions going on, things of that nature right there that ultimately try to put people into the system right off rip. Well, that's when we, like, you know, high school and middle school, in some cases elementary school. So right now I think that the youth, they definitely have a place in all of this right here in helping us, you know, build up a resistance movement, or, you know, really build up a resistance, I can say, because it ain't even just a movement. This is a revolution that we're talking about.
Gotcha.
And I just think that, you know, joining Mapinduzi will be the best approach for you all, you know, if you really want to make some changes in your community.
Respect.
Yeah. To build off of what them two were saying, and being a young person as well, you know, I wanted to be a part of something that I knew was going to incite some transformational change, and I think that's what Mapinduzi is moving towards. And us being young people, especially, we're combating so many of these oppressive forces, and I think that having an organization that we can align with, that we know, you know, has our back, that has our self-interest as well as the interest of the community, is what is needed in this moment. So I would definitely say, join Mapinduzi. We have a slogan. We say, "Touch one, touch all."
Touch one, touch all.
And we mean that.
Respect. Man, explain the situation when you got arrested, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to that real quick.
What you yeah, no, they try to say that I incited a riot and caused some damage to a police car, and hit me with some misdemeanor charges, like misdemeanor charges. So yeah, I mean, it's what they're gonna do. It's what they're gonna do, but it don't stop nothing. You know, it keeps moving.
I heard it was protesting in front of the jail for you, bro.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, I got it. Now we'll talk about that. No, I got a lot of love from the community. Like I was expecting a little love. I hope I got a little love.
Check me out. I posted the cash out. I was like, yo, we about to go get my boy Daydon out, bro. I posted on my page because they ain't know he was out. He got out fast and shit. So I had woke up because you remember I was out here that night, but I was throwing up or something. So I don't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, no, I got out. The reason I got out so quick is because I got out because of the people. The people supported me.
Yeah.
Support the movement.
I had supported. I posted the cash out. I was like, yo, y'all sending bread. We're gonna get him out. In 10 minutes, people sent $250.
Right.
In 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh yeah, that's support.
Yeah, the people
you know
got
what I mean?
me out. Yeah, the people got me out. And that's true.
Up.
Like, I didn't get myself out. The people got me out.
That's what's up.
And that was the highlight of everything, you know, that situation. And really the support from everybody and the love from everybody. And to me, that just gives me an understanding that they really understand what's going on, you know, and the situation that we're dealing with is serious. You see what I'm saying? And it is not about a couple of smashed windows. It's about the voices of black people. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that situation was it was all love from the people. So to anybody and everybody that supported me, I just want to say I appreciate you. Please continue to support Mapinduzi, support the Coalition Against Racism. You know, they do good work. The local GDC, they do good work. So, you know, and you know, join the organization. Organize is the only key. The only key. And if I can right quick, I just want to say, you know, the people in Greenville, we really got to press on issues that we want to see done. And it's up to the people themselves that's going to get it done. Nobody else is going to get it done for us. People in the city council not going to do it. These local so-called black people that's in leadership or that have really ordained themselves leaders, because it's the community that comes out and say who's in leadership. You don't ordain yourself a leader. It's the community that gives you that title. But the people that really do that, it's in a moment. We live in a moment that we're gonna have to hold these people as well that look like us. accountable and really make sure that the things that they say they're going to do is the things that they're really doing in a material sense. Words are not good enough anymore when it comes to black people in Greenville, North Carolina, because we've been hearing words for too long. You see what I'm saying? There's some things that could be rallied around as on a unified front that these leaders and these black people in power could build upon, but they choose not to. They have the ability to, but we have seen that they're unwilling to. So we have to realize that and really hold these people accountable. We're in a position where we have 2 black elected officials on city council right here, and we demand more of them. So these are the things that we want. We want justice for Sean Rambert, who was killed in 2019. We want justice for Brandon Joyner, that was killed in 2018. Not been talked about. It has not been discussed by 2 black elected officials, and it has not been pressed the way it should be pressed. And we are asking that the community comes out and press these issues and hold these people accountable and put them in a hot seat to say that if you're not willing to back the people 100%, the way that you want black people to back you 100% around election time, then we're going to make sure that we no longer put you in a position if you're not going to represent the people within inside this position. It's a shame that we have to walk around this city and look at this filthy ass statue, and I don't even cuss on camera like that. But we gotta look at this filthy statue, but the death of Sean Rambert is going unsolved. You see what I'm saying? And there's a pig over there, matter of fact, protecting the statue. I just seen him over there hiding. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And this is what they protect. They protect shit like this. And I'm sorry, y'all for cussing, but this is what they protect. They protect stuff like this. You see what I'm saying? They come in our community and harass us. You see what I'm saying? But then they protect stuff like this. They shot Sean Rambert, an unarmed black man, for no reason at all when he was walking around his community, but they continue to protect stuff like this. It's the same thing for Brandon Joyner. So we gotta understand, man, we want more. We're not here for talk no more. We want solid results. And if we're not gonna get solid results, then we're gonna keep doing what we had to do in the streets, and that was what was represented on that Sunday. That is an example of the power that people got in West Greenville. In Greenville, black people have in Greenville.
What's in Mapinduzi's future, man? Next 2 years, what we looking like?
That's 2 years. That's
a hard question.
Yeah, 2 years come like.
Do you not see what's going on in 2020? Can't predict nothing.
Right.
2020 is tough.
It's
2020
tough.
is tough.
It's tough.
And I think that right now, our main focus right now is just really just building up, just organizing. I think that's what we're going to really be focusing on. Right. Is just really trying to build up as many forces as we can and really get people to really, believe that they got the power, to really make the change in their community.
Word.
As we said, we're just trying to build up leadership. That's all we're trying to do. It ain't nothing like we trying to be on no venture capitalists, trying to start a business and stuff, trying to have proper etiquette, none of that. All we're doing is really, just make sure people can have those tools to be able to liberate their own communities. So I think that's what we're trying to focus on over the next 2 years.
That's what's
up.
Of
course, there are going to be other projects along the way, such as, the cop watches we mentioned earlier, and, other programs that, a little bit more confidential at the moment. But, yeah, that's what we're planning on doing for the next, 2 years or so. Let
everybody know where they can find you guys on social media, man. Start with you.
Mapinduzi, Facebook page.
Yeah. How you spell that?
Mapinduzi. Yeah, Mapinduzi. Swahili for revolution.
Word. That's a bet. I appreciate y'all, man. Got anything else you want to tell to the community, man? Anything you want to say? Y'all good?
You want to say something? I think we're good.
That's a bet. Well, look, man, I appreciate the conversation, man. I've been watching the movement for a little while now, man, and I definitely respect what you guys got going on, man. It's just all about execution at this point. Right, you know what I'm saying? It's all about execution. So I'm definitely gonna be tuned in. YurpTV, the media for the people, man.
Oh yeah,
media. Yeah. We definitely gonna be tuned in. Make sure we watching the movie. Yeah. So for those of you that are watching, man, make sure you subscribe. YurpTV 252 on all platforms. Make sure you follow Mapinduzi on all platforms as well. Subscribe to the YouTube, like I said, YurpTV 252.
What you doing, Quasi? Shit. Working on my bankroll. Trying to flip it cause I'm tired of the same mode. Getting richer on these niggas, that's my main goal. That's my main goal.